When participating in any exercise program, there is a possibility of physical injury and an increased load on the heart, which may result in dizziness, shortness of breath, and in extreme circumstances may result in a heart attack. If you experience any dizziness or pain, stop exercising immediately and seek medical attention as required. By participating in this exercise program, you agree to freely accept all associated risks, dangers, and hazards. The governors of the University of Alberta, their officers, employees, and volunteers are not responsible for any injury or loss of any kind sustained by you while participating. Consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Hi everybody, I'm Chelsea Coghill with Campus and Community Recreation, and today we're going to be going through some natural movement warm-up practices. So this could be used as part of a warm-up prior to a workout, but you could also use it as a practice all on its own. So if you wanted to use it as a get up in the morning and kind of get moving type of routine, or even a winding down before bed, or just even simply a movement break in the middle of your day, it's totally suitable for those purposes. Okay, so we're going to start seated. You can be in this simple cross-sit position, or if you want to be in your knees, you can also start lying down, your choice. So we're just going to start with some breathing. So if it's helpful for you, you can take one hand onto your chest and one hand just below your to your abdomen. And we're just going to take 5 deep. So as you inhale, you're going to focus that breath into the area below your rib cage, so the diaphragm. So inhaling 5 deep breaths. Relaxing the shoulders, and just working to keep the breath or the chest as still as possible, chest and shoulders, and just really expanding through the belly. Just nice, smooth, and controlled breaths. So just releasing your hands, we'll come into this side bent sit position. So some call it the 90-90. So you're just going to take your shins so that your shins create a 90-degree angle. If you find that you're kind of quite lopsided, you can always grab a pillow or a block just to bolster your hips up so you're not feeling like you're kind of very off-centered on your hips as best you can. So we're just going to be reaching in different directions in this side bent sit position. So let's just reach across the body. You can post one arm behind, then we'll reach across in the other direction. This time let's reach up with one hand and then switch hands, reaching up, posting with the opposite arm, posting behind, depressing the shoulder down and away from the ear. Let's just elevate the hips and reaching up and back. Coming back down, and one more time on the other side, reaching up. So from here, we're just going to reverse our legs. So keeping the feet planted, we're just going to reverse so that we're at the opposite direction. Let's change my orientation, and again recentering your hips, and we'll just begin again with the reaching. So just reaching across the body, posting with the opposite hand, and then reaching across in the other direction, reaching up. Ensure that you're breathing, reaching up with the other hand, posting the back hand, again shoulder down, out and away from the ears. We elevate the hips, reaching up. And then last time, reaching up on the other side. So 6 per side in this side bent sit position. Now we're just going to reverse this. So we can post with the arms behind us. Ideally, we're keeping feet in the same position. And I'm just going to move my knees from side to side, keeping the feet planted. We can post behind as needed, or we can sit up nice and tall and just reverse those knees. If we're not using the hands, we just want to ensure that we're not rounding excessively through the spine. So sitting up nice and tall, chest is lifted, and we're just going to go 3 times per side with this side bent sit reversed. From here, we're going to come up into this tall split kneeling position. So always feel free to use the hands as posts, elevating up, just extending through the hips, opening up, squeezing the glutes, and then using the hands as counterbalance to come back down. We're going to reverse the legs, coming over to the other side with hands or without hands, elevating the hips, opening up, squeezing the glutes at the top of the move. So we're just going to go 3 times per side. Ensure that we're breathing, relaxing through the shoulders. Again, just noticing if you're holding tension in the shoulders or the arms, try to be relaxed throughout the body. And just always ensure that you're breathing. Last time. So from here, we're going to come into just a knee-hand position. I like to keep my toes tucked, but you can also untuck the toes. Knees come back under the hips. Hands under shoulders, and we're just gonna rotate the elbow pits so that they point forward. And we're just gonna rock the hips back to the heels 5 times. So just beginning to bear some weight into the wrists. Warming up through the hips, inhaling forward, shoulders over wrists, and exhaling, hips back down towards the heels. So just knee hand rocking 5 repetitions there. From here, we're gonna come into a kneeling position. So always feel free to change the movement. So if this kneeling position isn't comfortable, we can always bolster with something between the backs of the legs and the calves, so like a yoga mat or a blanket. So come up into this tall kneeling position, flexing the toes underneath you. You're gonna sit back down into flex foot kneeling, inhaling to tall kneeling, untuck the toes, and then sit back down into this kneeling position. So we're just gonna move through this 3 more times. So standing up nice and tall, extending through the hips, flexing the toes back, sitting back onto the heels, inhaling up to tall kneeling, untuck the toes, sitting back down onto the heels. And again, inhaling tall kneel, toes tucked, hips back to the heels, inhale tall kneeling, glute squeeze at the top to extend the hips, untuck the toes, sit back onto the heels, and 1 more like that. So inhaling up, exhaling, sitting back down, inhaling up, untuck, and just coming back into this kneeling position. We're gonna come into a bit of spine rocking. So the trick with spine rocking is that we need to round through the spine as we come down. So we want to tuck through the pelvis or find that posterior tuck and engage through the core. So if we come down with a flat back, we're not going to get body weight transfer as easily as we'd like. So we're just going to rock back and up. Just coming up into this bent sit position, we're going to rock 5 times. It should feel really effortless. If it's not, just ask yourself if you're rounding through your spine and engaging through your trunk. And it should be just that body weight transfer that gently rocks you back and then up into this bent sit position. So the last movement that we'll use for our warm-up, we'll combine a rock into a figure 4 or a low crouch. So I'm going to rock back. I'm going to rock myself up into this figure 4 position. So with just 1 knee up, 1 knee down, both knees bent, I'm going to change that orientation to the other side. This time I'm going to use the momentum of my rock to come up into a crouch from this figure 4. So I'm going to rock back, figure 4, coming into this low crouch. And then I'm going to switch the legs and come back. And so we're just going to alternate doing 3 per side, rocking back into this low crouch position. Again, ensure that you're breathing once more on each side. Good. So that concludes the warm-up practice. You can move through this a second time through if you want to extend your warm-up, or even up to 3 times. So thank you for joining me for our natural movement warm-up, or just your movement practice on its own for the day.